You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
What's up, Charge? How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Obviously, big day in TBT news. So exciting evening. Can't wait to dig in and talk a little bit about what we heard today.
This is Season 3, Episode 7 of Zoom the TBT presented by Charge and Hayner. And today's big news, as we just teased, and we have teased this before actually, Charge, is the Mecca. We are coming to the Mecca. We are coming to Rucker Park, which is very, very cool. So, Charge, what's that mean to come to Rucker Park to you?
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. I've said it in the prior show, and we'll dig in a little bit. Obviously, very, very iconic, and the hype they had today shows why they're choosing Rucker Park. The innovation, and obviously not playing outdoors is innovative, but a high-level tournament of TBT's nature to choose an outdoor venue is innovative. So these guys aren't afraid to take on any challenge or afraid to, put on any event. So it's going to be exciting. I do have a couple concerns, which I'll say for later, but it is going to be well worth the effort for whoever commits to Rucker Park. And it's going to be buzzing, and it's going to be a great time out there.
So, quick, Charge, can we get you out here for that weekend? Maybe is that something we can? I got a bed right behind me. You can sleep in.
Yeah, we might have to check that out. I obviously have never been, but we'll see if we can make it work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right there, you got a place to stay. We could do this from the park. It would be awesome. So, first of all, we are going to go ahead, and we had actually teased this a while back before. So, we'll remind you guys very briefly of what we had said before back in April. So we did a little bit of digging. There's been a rumor about maybe it's going somewhere. So I did some digging. We're talking about some possible things. Could be at Philly, could be in Baltimore, could be in Rucker Park. So public records are a wonderful thing. We were able to find that there's actually an open application into New York City parks to play this at Rucker. You can see right there on the slide. If you're looking, I'll actually make it a little bigger just for this. You can actually, whoops, that's not it. This is it. Yeah. So you can see right there, there is an application in New York City parks to play in this event, 7/14 to 7/20. So what that means is that there is an open application. Now, we're not blowing up their spot. They haven't announced anything yet. And to be clear, Charge, as a deniability, they could have applied to many different cities. We're not thinking that it has to mean it is in New York City. It's not what we're saying, but they are considering it. So we're going to operate under assumption tonight they're playing in Rucker Park. And oddly enough, that seemed to have played out. So that's what public records are for, boys and girls. They're not just to get people in trouble in a public manner. So it's sometimes helpful to have an architect on staff to help you find permits and such things. So, Charge, you mentioned a couple of concerns. So let's go ahead and get the warts out first. Let's talk about what the positives and negatives are. You had a negative. I'm a positive person. Not really, I'm a negative person, but you're a pretty positive person. What are your negatives of having the event, or what are your concerns, so to speak?
Yeah, my biggest concern is playing on pavement, obviously. We had Marcus Keene on the show, and he absolutely will not play on pavement. I've talked to other GMs where, if they get into their region of choice, they're going to be really happy. But if asked to play in Rucker, they're going to respectfully decline the invitation to play at a Rucker. So that's my biggest concern. Obviously, TBT is going to have no trouble filling up the 8 slots here, but the team makeup could be interesting. I don't think we see many alumni teams, if any, here. We'll talk about the teams in a couple minutes who's just kind of already applied and we believe is going to show up there. But that's my biggest thing is, what teams are going to show up. Either way, it's going to be an event. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be off the hook, but it's not going to, if you can't pull in a couple, 2, 3 just high-level teams, and that's a little bit concerning to me.
So I will say this, and I get you, and I had to put it on the chat real quick, and we put it on the post real quick. Would TBT consider putting down a wood floor? That is pretty much my only concern with the event. New York City is, and I know it's going to hurt your feelings being an Ohio guy, but like New York City is, as a city, the Mecca of basketball. And I'm from Memphis originally, but I live here now. I live in New York. This is a train ride for me. I will be every day there. I will be taking the subway. I'll be literally with my bag, with my Metro card, just swinging up. I'll be up there, no problem. I'll do whatever TBT needs from coverage there. I live here. I will basically be the MC as needed of this event. No problem. I'll be there as much as possible. It is an electric atmosphere. Basketball is a religion in New York, and street basketball, playground basketball is the core of the experience. So them having this event here is very true to the roots of the event. So I think it's going to be electric regardless of the teams. But yeah, the only concern I have is getting professionals to play on concrete. I mean, I'm 43. I still play. I play on concrete. For me, it's a bit of a hard time. My knees hurt the day after, but maybe I put a wood floor down, or maybe the electricity event, the idea that it is an amazing event, because pros do play there. I mean, God bless Kobe. Kobe played on these courts. Lots of guys play pro-ams on concrete in the summer. So it's not unheard of high-level professional players playing on concrete for a special event. So that's not something that's completely unheard of. So I think they'll fill out a pretty high-level roster, but it is an open question. So, Charge, how, on a level of iconic areas to play a game, 1 to 10, where does Rucker rank in your mind?
Yeah, obviously that's got to be right up there. I mean, top couple without a doubt. I mean, whether you pick New York City, LA, some of their iconic venues, but yeah, it's going to be just crazy event, and I think they truly go pavement. I don't think putting down the floor is going to be an option for this event. So I think people are going to gear up and ready to play on pavement, and the positive sides of it. So besides what you've already mentioned, I think the exposure is going to be crazy at Rucker. So even though you may not get, the Boeheim's Army, the Zip 'em Up, some of these kind of high-level teams there, you're going to get some guys who are just out there grinding it out, but they're going to get the exposure. The hype around Rucker is going to be more than any region, bar none. I mean, the publicity, you see right there on the slide when I was reading some of the information today, the National Basketball Players Association and CJ McCollum made a statement in there about the excitement. So obviously there's going to be some NBA flair to it. I'm sure they're going to have some cameos and appearances from some folks. And so it's going to just be wild. I mean, they got some big time sponsors with Chick-fil-A and Tri-State out there, so they got a lot of positive things going on. That's going to, make an excitement and a backing and a hype, and it's going to be pretty wild. And then it's free to the public. So, I mean, don't have to, go out and buy some tickets, but it's going to be first come, first serve per the statement. And so I don't know how early you're going to have to get up, Hainer, if you don't get that press pass.
Gotta get the press pass.
You're going to be 24 hours sleeping out in a sleeping bag trying to get in that place, because I think it's going to be that wild.
It's going to be packed to the gills. We put in the chat up there real quick. You can see on the screen 1 to 10. How iconic is Rucker? I think it's at least an 11. So everybody has a number on their mind. I think it's amazing. I like what you said too. A shout out to them making it free, really giving back to the community. We should try to get McCollum on, because here's the funny part. I don't think he'll probably listen to us. He probably won't come on. But my first job in architecture was I was an intern for the firm that designed this Movie King Center. So I actually had a very minor role on the court that McCollum plays on now. So maybe we can leverage that. I doubt it, but hey, it's worth a shot. So CJ, if for some reason you're listening, pretty sure you're not, but who knows? We'd love to have the architect of the place that worked on your stadium. Would love to have you on, talk about how this came about. Also, you got
us can folks out. We got to stick together. So CJ, Eric, Charge Nation, of course. So they're local guys. So
right. we got a lot of really small ties. Maybe we'll get one in there. Okay, so real quick, talking about the regions. This obviously now finalizes the regions. You can see there's a very big Northeast Midwestern flavor of Ohio, West Virginia, and New York. It really simplifies my travel. I have a region I'm going to now that will require just a subway ride, which I'm very thankful for. This is our current field. This is the closest we have. We haven't really adjusted it well. I think one of our next couple shows will be a remix of the bracketology as more teams apply. But you start to see how even the field is. And looking at that Rucker Park now, the graphic has changed in that fourth column. We pop in with teams we thought were a good fit. But due to the fact the alumni teams aren't going, it may be a shot for some of these bubble teams to get in there. Right, Charge?
Yeah, I think the bubble teams obviously have to be ready to move. Obviously TBT, they're always 2 steps ahead of everything, so they probably already have a pretty good idea who's showed interest in playing at Rucker. A couple surprises I'm sure they know is going to come. Every year there's always a team that comes out of the woodwork that shocks and amazes, so I'm sure a lot of that's lined up. But the bubble teams definitely have to be ready to go, be ready to play on pavement. And, if you get called to action, I mean, like I said, you can get rewarded with a fantastic event. But yeah, and I think it's just interesting. It's going to line up against the Xavier or the Cincy bracket, and whoever wins that, obviously, I think they're going to feel pretty good because that bracket is loaded. And depending on what comes out of Rucker, I mean, they're going to be battle tested, but I think they're going to be feeling pretty good about what comes out of Rucker for their next round matchup.
So getting into the details, let's go ahead and look. Now, we're not at a point yet where we actually have all the applied teams. In fact, only 2 of the teams have applied to Rucker so far. We'll get into that in a minute. But we populated back about a month ago, we populated a bracket of what Rucker looked like. And we're going to review that, only this bracket, not the whole bracketology, this one bracket. Talk about kind of what the levels of the field will go. You'll see the 3rd seed and 5th, 5 seed slots are already applied on the slide. So you start to talk a little bit about teams we think might go there. We think like a team like the Underdogs might be a fix or willing to play anywhere. The rumored Billy Hoyle team, which might be the leadership of a former Ram Nation team. The Primetime Players are a pretty solid fit for this. Obviously, they'll play where. The Ace Legends, the Pro-Am team out of Orlando, who I'm starting to think we might have criminally underseeded, which I'm sure we'll hear about very shortly. The Autism Army is the other team that has applied to this region. Defeat Diabetes, Brotherly Love, and NG Saints are all teams with a Northeast flavor or a sort of a good vibe for the region. Charge James, one is the most likely to apply to this region that you don't have to apply. This is the most likely to apply to this region, I think.
Yeah, you broke up a hair on me at the end, so I didn't hear your question.
No worries. What team do you think is the most likely to apply to this region out of the 6 we have on there?
Out of the 6 we have on there, I think the 2 you'll look for is Defeat Diabetes. I think they have some interest in making a name for themselves and playing wherever they can fit in and get into the TBT. So I think you'll see Defeat Diabetes possibly in the mix there. And obviously Billy Hoyle will go down that path as well. Obviously, with Matt possibly running that team, teasing that a couple years back, if he comes up with the talent, he's reliable and he'll definitely get in if he puts in the team for Billy Hoyle. And obviously Primetime, they've been kind of uncharacteristically quiet this time of year. So I'm sure Chris is plotting behind the scenes his next moves. But, obviously they'll, once again, those teams that are anytime, anywhere will take on anybody fit in nicely here. But I feel the best about Defeat Diabetes and Billy Hoyle right now.
Definitely. I also, you mentioned Primetime. I think they're most likely to be added to this roster. Definitely.
Actually, so the one that I did not mention. I think it's on a later slide though, so I'm gonna wait.
Well, okay. We have the bubble teams.
The bubble teams.
Yeah, we have the bubble teams on here. So, which of these bubble teams do you think is definitely applying to this region?
Brooklyn Vultures.
The Vultures will move. Yep.
I think the Vultures are in. I mean, it's one of those ones. They truly are a team of guys from New York City. They're reliable. They traveled last year, as we talked about on numerous shows. I think this is one where you can try to get a bubble team to relocate over here, but these guys are local. They'll have some fun. They'll show up, and so I think Brooklyn Vultures lock them into the 8th seed and see how things shake out. But that's the bubble team that I think definitely should look here and go there.
Yeah, because they'll have to move out of their Syracuse application. I think some other teams, we listed a few teams that could look at this area. I really think this would be a great place for the mental fitness to consider. The Redeem team could maybe move out here possibly. I heard the Big 5 Philly team would also consider this region. They actually, we were talking to Rob about this. They might move here. So that would be a very strong team to sort of ice that New York City, Philadelphia short corridor. It's a 2-hour bus or train ride. The Philly is a sister city to New York City. So that'd be a great to get the Brotherly Love, get NG Saints, get Big 5 up here, get that Philly flavor up in here would be really nice. Okay, but we do know a couple teams that have applied. And one team for sure that's applied and is going to be, and I think we probably understand them, is the Ace League Legends. This is going to be a really solid team. So what do we know about these guys so far, Charge?
Yeah, obviously they're going to come with some talent, and you actually seeded them, so they have a problem. I refuse to do mystery region. I'm like, it's just not worth it at this time, and so So yeah, don't hate on anybody, but if you feel inclined, then that is definitely a hater. But yeah, I think this one here is just going to be a solid team. I think that at the end of the day, they'll probably be a top 3 seed once everything shakes out. Once we see who comes in, but NBA player Mo Spates is their head coach. They got Juan Bernal, who has been involved with the TBT and a friend of the podcast, talking all about the betting and the spreads and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, he's been involved in TBT and knows what it takes to put on a winner. Hassani Gravet was fantastic last year in the G League and got a call up. And so these are guys that are hungry, high-level pro-am down in Orlando. So they're going to be a fantastic team. And, this is the one, if you were sleeping on them at a 5, like I said, these were just placeholders for us. They'll come out and beat you.
So it's funny you mentioned Juan. And also, we have a friend of the pod, Brent Jackson's been on the show a few times. And I probably didn't understand them. So, let's just bring them on and get yelled at and make sure they understand that, I probably just understood them. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bring on Juan and Brent from the Ace League Pro-Am Legends. What's up, guys?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing fine. Welcome again to the show.
Appreciate it.
So first of all, let's just get to this real quick. So Brent, we'll start with you, obviously. And by the way, real quick, is that your son?
No, this is my niece. She wanted to be in the podcast today. So
there we go.
Nice.
Say hi.
ZoomTheTBT.
Kids and puppies. We may get more than tens and tens of viewers this week. So we're going to be hot.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So first of all, Brent, obviously you've got a lot of confidence shooting. You're always the guy that says, I need to shoot more. So how do you see, you guys have a pretty deep roster. We're going to bring that back up. I mean, the roster you have a unique situation where you have most of your team already locked in. And obviously Darius Washington, anytime you get a Memphis guy on the team, you're definitely going to have a good shot. So how do you see this style of play working? With all these guys?
Well, see, the simple thing is I played with and against these guys in the Ace League last summer. And the team that I played with, I had Hassani Gravett. I had Kendrick Perkins, who isn't in it this year. Who else did I have? Played against Capers. I had Cortez Edwards on our team. But, I mean, we all just know how to share the ball. We all know each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I feel like with this group of guys, we're just going to gel really well, and we're going to be very unselfish. And, we're going to get, the guys open shots that need open shots. And, we're just going to play basketball at the end of the day.
So, Juan, bringing you into this conversation, thanks for coming back. It's been a while since we've had you on. So, first of all, what kind of a spread, because you're the gambling man, what kind of spread are we going to have to, give teams playing you? How many points should you be favored by in your first round game? He's speechless. Juan, you there?
Juan, you got to turn on your mic.
Okay, we lost Juan, I guess. So anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and skip that question. Juan, when you get back to having a working thing, get there.
Okay, hey Brent. The big thing about Rucker that's kind of generating all the buzz right now is playing on pavement. So obviously, you being an overseas pro, Ace League. Team coming together. What's your thoughts about playing on pavement? Because obviously that's something you got to prepare for, and will be a little bit different than what you're used to. So, are you guys up for that challenge?
Yeah, I think we're up for it. But I saw it on the TBT Instagram page today, and they said that they remodeled the floor for safety reasons. So they said that they put floor outside. Don't know if that's 100% true. But I mean, to get out of that region, you got to win 3 games, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So we all understand the goal. And if we gotta fight through, playing on pavement for 3 games to get to some hardwood, it is what it is.
Okay. Besides, I mean, it's going to be fair if you're playing on pavement, so's the other team. So, and I'm not familiar. Is the Ace League is played indoors, right?
Yeah, Ace League is played indoors, downtown Orlando.
Okay. So this league, this is basically all the top players from that league, much like the LA Cheaters representing the Drew League. It's the same concept. It's basically a pro-am league that's coming in. So, first of all, what kind of size are you guys going to have? What style of play? Are you guys going to play loose? Are you guys going to play fast? How does the Ace League translate from a speed and style of play perspective?
I mean, with the roster that we have and what I'm looking at, we have guys that we have size in the post, so we have guys that we can feed into in the half court set if things do become stagnant playing fast. We have a lot of shooters. We have a lot of outside scoring. We have a lot of athletic guys on this team. Roderick Lawrence, very athletic. Hassani, athletic. Cortez, I mean, just everybody, every guard, every power forward center that we have, athletic. So I don't think we'll run into an issue with, playing at a very athletic level. And I don't also see an issue with us having an issue inside and out. It's all about, like I said, just, playing within each other and, playing inside out, outside in.
Makes sense. So, Charge, what excites you the most out of this team the way it's currently constructed?
Like I said, I think they're a perfect fit for the Ace League. It's just going to be a bunch of gritty guys. They don't have the star name that some of the other alumni teams that would have. But I mean, Brent's been grinding it out and been successful in the TBT. Showed that these guys can play at any level against any team. So I just like the grittiness of what we're going to see. Guys that are going to be unselfish and just really go out there and get some wins. So and I do see Juan made it back. Can you hear us?
That's a no.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you now. Okay, well, we're going to ask you one question because your sound's kind of wonky real quick. How did you get involved with the Ace League? I know you used to run Pedro's Posse. You're one of the OGs of the TBT community. How did you be participating as a member of this league team come together?
Well, Pedro's Posse's been in the Ace League for its existence.
And that's where we're going to have to leave it. Juan, your sound keeps failing. So, Juan, thanks for coming by. We're going to bring you back when you actually have a working computer. Peace out, Juan.
Hey, okay. Just one more question for Brent. Obviously, Juan helping put this team together, which is fantastic. But I think a name that sticks out on the roster from a coaching perspective is going to be head coach Mo Spate. So I don't know if you've had a chance to kind of work with him in the past, or what do you think Mo's going to be able to bring to the team and lead you guys with?
NBA, champion. I've had an opportunity to play with him in some money tournaments over the summers. Real cool guy, humble, and he's just gonna obviously bring that veteran. I don't even know. I mean, there's not much to really say. Like, he knows the game. And, I believe that we all know the game as well. And I just think that he's going to just be able to instill something in us that's, because like you said, we have a team full of dogs, a gritty team. And I think he's going to be that backing us. I've never had him, on the sideline as a coach, but I just think as a player, I think he's just gonna, push guys to, do anything and everything to win games and have a greater chance of winning $1 million.
Yeah, definitely. So you think since he played for the Warriors, he has a dog in the Western Conference Finals?
Was he a dog?
No, does he have a rooting interest in the Western Conference Finals?
Oh, 100%.
That makes sense. Do you have a rooting interest?
My boy Leandro Barbosa is on the coaching staff. So, I'm going to have to root for them. I'm not really a Golden State fan, but, I know a couple people on the, the coaching staff. So
we used to play in Brazil too. So is that how you know Barbosa? Yeah,
that's how I know Barbosa. Super chilled guy, humble, funny as hell. I keep in contact with him every so often. He's enjoying his time out there in Cali, and he actually does live in Florida when he's not coaching. So hopefully this summer we'll be able to see each other.
Hey Juan, do we have you back now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was my headphones. I'm sorry.
No worries.
It was my headphones. But to answer your first question, I would hope y'all make us underdogs, or whoever makes the lines makes us underdogs, so that so that everybody involved can make some money. But I've been in the Ace League. Pedro's Posse's been in the Ace League for 4 years, for its entire existence. So we've got a few guys from our roster. Orlando Parker, who he played with one of the West Virginia teams last year or the year before. Can really shoot it as a stretch four. Ramani Hansen is a hybrid forward, can put it on the floor and score, and plays inside out. Cortez Edwards, Rod Lawrence, who is a really good player, and I think there's guys who will benefit from the outside environment at Rucker Park, and Rod is just a straight hooper, man. He's the 2-time Ace League MVP for a reason, and I think he has the perfect opportunity to advance his career with this opportunity we have coming up. So he's a player to watch out for. And then we also had Brent and Hassani grab it. So this group of guys is really good, and I look forward to getting out there with them, man. Obviously, we still have a long way to go. We still have to get in officially. I don't think it's a given that this thing is set in stone, but we're doing everything we can to do what we got to do to get in.
You guys have talent. You guys have a 14-man roster. You guys have applied to the correct region. You've got Brent Jackson. You guys are a lock. It's a lock. Brent, you guys are a lock.
I'm gonna just say this: when it's the people at TBT's party, and they're gonna invite who they want to the party. So we have to keep doing what we have to do, and we have to keep trying to put together an impressive of a resume as we can to earn the invitation.
That speaks volumes for the organization and Juan and the Ace League, because we see some bubble teams that get frustrated every year, and why didn't I get in? And you throw a roster together at the last minute. You didn't put your best foot forward. So I think anyone listening who's on the bubble, I think Juan set that up pretty nicely. Don't take anything for granted, because you don't have to get the invitation to that party.
It's their party. They're gonna invite who they want, and again, hopefully they invite us, and we're gonna keep doing what we have to do. But yeah, all we can do is control what we can control, and start getting ready. Our preparations are underway, and we got our work cut out for us. Like, the goal isn't just to try to get in. Brent can tell you, he's played in this a few times. I don't think we're going to be content with just getting in and being there and being at Rucker Park. Like, our goal is to try to win the first game, and then try to win the game after that, and then, keep going. So, obviously it's still a long ways away, but the process is certainly one of a kind. It's unique, and we're looking forward to it.
Now, Brent, I always like the fact that Brent's one of the most confident people we've ever had in the show. The man oozes confidence. So I like what Juan's saying, because Juan is saying you got to be humble, you got to be done. But Brent, let's be honest. You think you're a lock, right?
You said what? I think we're a lock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think we're a lock. I mean, we have guys that play in some of the best leagues in Europe. We have Mo Bates as our coach. And Will and his management team and Juan, they're doing a great job of promoting us as a team. So, I mean, Dan would be crazy not to allow us in, especially at Rucker Park.
That's the case.
So here's a little bit of inside information. I had found out about the Rucker Park thing probably a couple months ago, and for the life of me, I cannot remember how I found out about it. But
you probably looked for a permit on the New York City website, like I did.
No, not quite. But I remember I called Will and I told him, I said, listen, they're doing this mystery region at Rucker Park. That's the mystery location. You have to call them and tell them we will play anywhere, including Rucker Park. If it's outside, if it's raining, whatever the conditions may be, that's kind of how you have to angle this thing and show that you're serious about it. So, it's going to be, if we get the opportunity, it's going to be quite the opportunity. And we got guys that have been in the trenches, literally and figuratively. We do not have we do not have one single prima donna type of guy on our team. So it will definitely be something that that we can take advantage of and put keep putting on for Florida and Orlando and try to get this thing back home.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, Brent, let's put a button on this. What does the TBT community need to know about the Ace League Legends?
The Ace League is a team compiled of dogs. We're guys that are wanting to show that we are able to play at the highest level possible against the best guys in the world. Because if I'm correct, there's probably only about 100 plus players, and a lot of these guys play Euro League or they have some type of NBA experience, and a lot of these guys are trying to make it to that next level. And with the TBT and the showcase that it is, we come in, we shake the room at Rucker Park. That's going to open up a lot of doors for a lot of us, and it's going to make a lot of us money. And like I said, as long as we put egos aside and we just play basketball and we stay together and, just stay as a family, we're good.
Love it. Yeah, I mean that's really the thing. We talked about it before you guys got on. The exposure at Rucker is going to be crazy. It's going to get the most coverage. I'm sure the best televised events and people they're covering. So good luck to you, Brent. Look forward to following the journey along the way. Juan, can't wait to see what you guys finish up. I'm confident that you guys are locked. Brent's niece is confident that they're a lock, and so
wow, right.
I'm sure you guys get a lot of work at the Ace League this summer.
Okay.
For sure. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming by.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great to have the Ace League Legends there. Very, very cool. So what do you think, Charge? That should be a pretty fun team, right?
Yeah, no, they're a business team. I mean, some of these teams, put some guys together and hope they do well. But Juan, he's just all business. I loved what he said about his team and not taking anything for granted and earning that invitation from TBT. They got guys that are just going to go out there and fight. So yeah, it's gonna be a great team. I truly believe they'll. There may be, those surprise teams that pop up that may have some flair or some buzz around them. But I think when it gets right down to business, we'll see those guys in the 3 range and, someone to look out for coming out of Rucker and really challenge that tough Cincinnati region. I think the Cincinnati guys are going to be feeling pretty good, but you can't sleep on those guys.
Absolutely not. So we're going to real quick go back to the slides here. We're going to mention a couple teams that could really definitely benefit from relocating. Just mentioned briefly from our speed dating. We got the Redeem team, a team that might want to consider moving from Wichita to the Rucker Regional. The Fork Hood Wounded Warriors, they're very tied to Texas, but this is a team that always shows out well and might be on the bubble, even though they're a quality team. So this is the sort of team that also might benefit from a relocate. And of course, this is the team you think is pretty much the one that's a natural fit, correct? This is the team we got to get in with their awesome hit single from last show.
Oh, yeah. I'm still singing that song this week. But, yeah, no, I truly think it's Brooklyn Vultures. All the other bubble teams, I think, make good cases and would be competitive out there. But, if this is truly a New York-based team, local New York guys playing Brooklyn Vultures, they've got to be in. So I really want to see them. They've worked hard. They've tried every way they can get into TBT last year. So I think you give them the nod and see what they can do out there at Rucker.
So talking about this bubble slide again and the teams that could benefit from it, like we have all those teams that could really consider it. Is there a sort of a charity-based team you really want to see in this event?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about on our last show, but I think a team like Mental Toughness, is one of those teams that they went and traveled out to the Midwest last year. They're applied to a really, really deep Syracuse region, and we said that we think they're a lock and they need to be in the TBT somewhere, and where that is still to be determined. But I think those are the type of teams that are gonna possibly be asked to move to Rucker. Someone who's reliable, someone who's competitive, and there's probably going to be a couple spots that need to be filled by folks who it may not be their number one choice, but it's a great choice and it's going to get a lot of exposure if you do make that decision.
Well, I will say this, though, for example, first of all, you're a guy that doesn't really drink a lot. I like my beer. You're more of a soft drink kind of guy. But of these beverages, like you're a big lemonade fan, right?
Lemonade, absolutely. I could drink some lemonade.
You drink some lemonade. Now, what do you know about Alex's brand of lemonade?
Alex's brand of lemonade, yeah, these guys have been trying to work their way into TBT for the past few years now. And they put together a solid roster last year, some good overseas pros, but just haven't had the right fit to get in. And this is another team that would obviously be a candidate if they're willing to kind of move out of that Xavier region and head out towards the New York City, get into that Rucker. So yeah, I think they're gonna have to be flexible because Xavier is full as it gets right now.
And as we talk about that, we actually have Jordan Joyce, the GM of Hoops for LS, on the show. Jordan, how you doing today?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
Doing solid. Thanks for coming on. Glad you could talk to you today. So first of all, just we'll ask the question because the big field shaking news with the Rucker announcement is now we have an outdoor region. Now we have an iconic outdoor event that's being backed by ESPN. So we get major airplay, but also because of the fact it's on concrete, some teams might shy away from. Is this a region that Alex's Lemonade Stand would consider playing at?
Oh my God, yeah. The guys are all from that area, so it's like they either played there, they're from there, they're a couple miles away. Me personally, I'm 2 hours away, so it's a nice little fit if we can get in. The guys can stay home in that New York, New Jersey area, man, and have their family come and show up. So
you're 2 hours away. Where do you live, man?
I'm in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just curious.
Yeah, no. So knowing that, do you kind of pivot from Xavier and just really go after Rucker, make it known that you're all in there, and really kind of get those commitments from your guys that they're all willing to play at Rucker?
Oh yeah. I think they all want to stay home. They all want to stay local. Xavier was one of our choices, but that field seems like it's getting harder and harder to get into. And then they announced Rucker today, and I was like, it's a perfect fit. Where else can you have some nice lemonade on a hot summer day when you're
Absolutely.
outside?
There you go. That's a good point.
We're going to need it too. It's going to be really, 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 really hot there, actually. You were talking about how crowded that looks. This is a rough idea of what the Xavier region might look at. I mean, this is a disaster. I mean, just how many great teams are there. So there might be a little more room at Rucker. Real quick, just because some people might not be familiar, could you describe a little bit about what Alex's Lemonade Stand is about?
So it's a foundation that helps fight childhood cancer. So they do all different types of fundraisers, running fundraisers, anything pretty much now in sports. They do fundraisers and they help donate to different hospitals around the area. They're based out of the Allentown, Bethlehem area. So they help donate, they help do research and all that stuff. And I caught wind of them and they were on board right when I wrote that email. And I just want to keep it going for them. So.
Okay, excellent. Now, how's the roster coming along? I know last time we checked, and this is from last week from the bubble episode, from the speed dating episode, that you guys only had one hard commit. How's the roster starting to fill out?
Just this week, I'm just getting these guys' videos. So once I get the guys' videos, I'm gonna start posting. I just got a commit today, Jack Rouch. He's from Syracuse, so it's another New York guy who wants to stay home and play. And I'm going to be announcing one tonight as well, who's from my area, who played college ball up in New York there. So we're getting some local guys. I just need the videos. Once I get the videos, I'll start posting. So, and there may be one big name coming to our team. Just working out some details. So fingers crossed.
You can get a couple of those in, a little differentiated. Did you guys announce a second? The one guy, I can't remember his name, played for Jimmy V last year, didn't he?
Mike Williams, yeah.
Did you guys
local? So he's got some experience for us. So
that's a big
he was on our
kid,
team last year, and then he played for Jimmy V as we didn't get selected. So he's got the experience. He was out there with them last year, so.
Yeah, big win for Jimmy V to get those guys over the hump. That was good for him to be part of.
Oh yeah,
definitely. So you have some teammates on your team who actually have winning experience in TBT, which is always good for a first year application.
I just got a text today from another guy who played a couple years ago when they did that tournament down in Philly, the like that play-in tournament.
The Jamboree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jamboree. So I'm just working on him now, and it's another guy that played in the tournament. So the more experience we have, the better. So.
Yeah, I think it's important to lock some players down early. It looks like the number of teams that are going to apply is probably going to be less than in previous years. So I think there's going to be a pool of people who are going to be looking for teams, and especially as things get closer to that application deadline. I can't remember when it is in June exactly, but that'll be coming up in the 15th. Yeah, it's kind of mid-month, so we're less than a month away. And
wow.
Guys are going to start scrambling in a hurry to find a team. And what's important are teams that have a good chance of getting in, because you don't want to commit to somebody who may not get there. So the better case you make, the better you put yourself in position, the better talents is going to be drawn in. So it should be interesting how that goes.
Uh-oh. You see the chat right there. Our buddy Ott's back. Herd to Rucker. You heard it first. Herd to Rucker.
I don't know about that one.
I know. They're already hosting. They're obviously
yes, it's all the wind.
What's up, Ott?
They're too good of shooters to be playing outdoors, so they gotta.
If he wants to come and join our team, I mean, he's more than welcome. I mean,
now Ott's going to be my lawyer next year once he hangs up the
last dance. I know he's got the nerd team kind of wooing him. Alex's lemonade stand. I mean, he's a TBT celebrity.
So how hard, Jordan, has it been to recruit players when your team is not yet in? I mean, there is a disadvantage of the 32 guys looking for sort of at large spots with the 32 already committed. Like, has a selling point for recruiting been the charity? Has it been you've got one guy, certain guys want to play with other guys? Like, what has been your recruiting pitch to players?
So my recruiting pitch is just playing for a great foundation, playing for these kids that are fighting every day. There's that pitch, and I also throw at them that they're going to be on ESPN. They're going to get looked at. So if they play a good game, there could be a chance to up your game. You could go to the G League or wherever. You could go a higher league and overseas. But my main pitch is playing for the kids, playing for these kids that are in the hospitals or at home that can't do much because they're fighting their battle. And so far, every time I reach out to someone, that's what they want to do. So
definitely
fighting for these kids on a bigger stage, and just seeing us play for them, I think is really, really good. So
is there a charity out in New York is there a hospital out in New York you'd like to partner with? There's obviously a lot of leading cancer research centers here. So
yeah, there's a lot of them. I do a couple stuff with my local hospitals, but I can definitely reach out to some New York ones.
Yeah.
And see if they would like to even, good Lord, like, no, I don't care if we get in or not. I just want to stand there just to show the support and throw some money their way. So
yeah, that's really, really good. So how different is it going to be playing in an outdoor region though? We talk about, like, for example, one team we know is being teased at going that we're pretty sure is no way in hell going to go. And I'll go ahead and say it too. I'm pretty sure the Division III team's not going to go to Rucker because they're, as he said, their team is based around having highly skilled shooters. What's the point of playing outside when the wind can blow the shots, as Wesley Snipes says, a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right? So, like, what style of play is going to dominate the Rucker region, you think?
I think New York style basketball, street ball, pick and roll, and just toughness. And right now, the guys I got committed are from New York. They're from the Bronx. They're from Brooklyn, Syracuse. And I think they're used to playing outside in the parks. So, and they're used to getting beat up, used to playing physical. So I think we fit in pretty well playing outside. But, I mean, we can play wherever. So we can play that style anywhere. So.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, hey, Jordan, we appreciate you jumping on. Good luck to you. Like I said, we followed you guys the past couple of years, been pulling for you guys the past couple of years, and hopefully this Rucker is the kind of key to getting you guys over that hump this year. I know you guys will show up, be a solid team, and obviously put on a great, proud performance for Hoops for ALSF.
Oh, yes.
ALSF. So good luck to you as you kind of go through the rest of this application period.
Thank you so much, guys.
And Jordan,
before
you leave, can you explain exactly what's going on with the hair? Because last time, I don't think you had that exact haircut.
No, it's very different than the photo in there.
Yeah, so I got long hair, and from time to time, I get it braided. So I just do it for fun because I work with kids myself. So going into work with different hairstyles gets them to talk about different things. So I mean, now they have fun with it. So they crack their jokes at me. So any of that stuff just to get smiles on somebody's face. So
Can you do a couple of bars of Gangster's Paradise real quick? Is that something you can do?
oh God, I do like that song too.
Hey, Jordan, I don't know if you're following the chat on the side, but obviously, Ott, as much fun as he is, I mean, he's really pulling for some of the underdogs this year to get in. But, he said he's pulling for you. If you don't, Herd would love to play for y'all's cause. So, make sure you guys connect. Those are good folks down there, as much fun as we have.
Yeah,
And,
even if I have to go down there and watch them play, I would love to sell lemonade with these guys. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a good guy. So we'll definitely get you guys in touch. So if worse comes to worse,
no,
if you guys don't get in, if you don't get in,
if we don't get in, yes.
if you don't get in, if you don't get in. Well, hey man, Jordan, thanks for swinging by today. Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Take care, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Take care. Wow. All right. So that's pretty interesting. So I think there's a pretty good case to be made for having the Hoops for Yourself guys there. Whoops. Crap. And I just kicked off my partner accidentally, which is going to be a problematic guy. So we're going to go ahead and get him back because I accidentally just pushed the wrong button and got rid of Charge, which is a real problem. So on that note, we are going to go ahead and bring him back in a minute while we wait for Charge to come back as I invite him because I was getting I pushed the wrong button, which does happen. This is what happens with live sort of stuff is we're going to put him back on. Actually, I screwed that up. That was really bad. Charge, you're back. Sorry about that. Push the wrong button.
Yeah, I see you somehow kicked me out, but that's all right. But yeah, what I was saying on the way out the door, I mean, those are the teams is why TBT is special. I mean, what a great attitude Jordan has about the TBT and the tournament. And if I can't get my team in, which he's gonna try heck and high waters to get in, I mean, just to be willing to be involved in some cases, show up at Rucker, sell some lemonade, to partner with her dad to sell some lemonade. And, so that's really what TBT is all about. And we've heard that from other teams in the past is playing for something bigger than yourself. So just felt really good talking to Jordan tonight. I appreciate him jumping on.
So do you see the chat? Do you see Josh Brown?
I don't think there's any way out with that with this little record. No way.
That's hilarious.
You never know, though. You never know. Maybe he'll get a 1 seed out there. He's only going to be a 4 in West Virginia, so maybe that's enough enticement.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we got one more guest we're trying to get on. He may come on or not, but Sean McGee's trying to get on, so we're going to talk to him hopefully in a minute. But while we wait for Sean to get on the show, let's talk a little bit about this mental toughness team as a team that definitely might reconsider. Now, we have them sort of as we had them on the bubble and off, but it was more of a numbers game. As this congeals, we have them as one of the teams most likely or almost assured to go from bubble to actually in the field. That Syracuse region might be a slightly tough sell, right?
Yeah, so I'm not going to repeat myself because this is the quality of podcast that you get here is, Hanger was teeing this up, and I knew we had mental toughness on. I knew we had Alex's lemonade stand on, but I had them in the wrong order. So I've already talked about mental toughness, and that's what you get. You deal with Hanger and I. We're sometimes asked backwards, but
I still have COVID. That's my excuse. I have COVID still.
I'm just old, so that's where I kind of draw the line. But yeah, no, we love this team. We got to talk with those guys a lot last year and kind of follow their journey into their first bid in to TBT 2021, and it was a lot of fun. Put together a great team, put up a fight out, and I always forget where they played, either Wichita or Omaha or Peoria, one of those teams out there, or was it Omaha because they didn't play last year, but either Wichita or Peoria. They put up a great fight. And
it was Wichita, wasn't it? It was Wichita. They played the cheaters. They played the cheaters, and the cheaters ended up. Yeah, I think it was Wichita. But the key thing is they lost to a very, very good LA Cheaters beat by 3 points. By 3 points.
And so I expect those guys, like I said, they're, I think, legit contenders to get into Syracuse straight up as, a region that they want to participate in. But, I think that's going to turn into, just like we're seeing in Dayton, especially, where that's turning into an alumni region. It just feels like Syracuse is turning into an alumni region. And that's my concern with them getting in, is I think you're going to probably have both Dayton and Syracuse be almost fully alumni regions, which is pretty cool in my opinion. And so I think they're going to likely get squeezed or be asked to move, once again, just based on that.
Yeah, because if you look at the Syracuse region and look at this alumni, so you have like obviously Bayheim's, Blue Collar U. The Friday Beers aren't going to be a alumni team. They're going to have some of the same qualities as an alumni team. Brown and White, the expats, the nerds. And we have Peacock and India Rising out there possibly too. So that's going to be between 5 to 6 and maybe even 7 alumni teams ending up there. So it might be a pretty heavily alum-based team. So I guess the real strength of this Rucker Regional is it allows non-alumni teams to have sort of a home base and sort of that street ball tradition. What would be one sort of host or one sort of team that isn't entered yet or you haven't even heard of that you would really like to have enter Rucker? Like just like a celebrity or a cause or a narrative you'd like to see at Rucker?
Yeah, I think it's going to be celebrity driven. I mean, I don't know what is going to come up, with TBT, with Puma being a primary sponsor. You have a lot of, famous rappers and just, iconic players who played there. So I think, when we talk about TBT surprises, one has to be coming. I mean, you absolutely know there's going to be something big locked into Rucker to really hammer that home and to bring it. So I'm looking for a celebrity team. Obviously, they'll have the clout to get some big time players and some players they want. And I think it's going to be pretty impressive, but obviously no news at this point. But I think something's going to be very celebrity or maybe rapper driven or something along that line. It's just going to be really cool and very New York.
This is who I want to see right there. I want Rock Nation. I want Rockefeller Records. I want Dame Dash. And I want Jay-Z to reunite to have a team in this. I want to have a Dame Dash, Rock Nation, Rockefeller reunion with Jay-Z. He's a former owner of the Nets, big basketball guy. He's a New York guy. I'd love to have that. We're going to be right on top of Harlem is very, very, very close to the Bronx, a Fat Joe, a Terror Squad type team. Hang on. I've got to say this. Last comment for Rod. It was only Carmen Charge got kicked off for saying we were a force. What happened?
He's probably right about that, but it's all matchup. And I don't care which one of y'all have won, which one of you have for. But if I do not get Best Virginia and heard that this year, I'm going to be mad. It has to happen this year, bar none. I think even the inside TBT guys are saying it has to happen this year.
It has to happen.
I mean, if we don't get Best Virginia heard that, then my life will not be complete. I have to have this matchup. I got to live it and experience it down there in West Virginia. So
they're going to give them a bye to make sure it happens. They're going to give like 2 byes to make sure there's nothing in the way of it happening. It'll be like 3-6 or it'll just be an immediate game. Like they're just going to skip having to play a first round opponent and just stick 2 extra teams here.
Yeah, so that's probably Op booting me. He's probably in the background waiting to join or something. You invited him, and he just like, hell with this. Let's get rid of Charge.
Honest to God, I just pushed the wrong button. This is a good time to mention we probably need a producer at some point because at some point when I've got COVID brain and I'm exhausted from a long week of work, having the producer also be a host is sometimes a problem. Sometimes that sort of thing happens. So I don't think Sean's coming. So if Sean gets on here before we go, we'll get him on. But if not, I'm not going to worry about it. So Charge, today's announcement. What's your main takeaway about today?
My main takeaway is just I think it just speaks volumes about TBT and who they are and what they stand for, that they're going to continue to kind of press the edges of what's the norm. Obviously have done crazy things like the Jamboree, the Elam Ending, which was crazy at the time, and it's starting to spread like wildfire, and I'm sure we'll see it in the NBA someday. But just really doing things that fans want to see. The comments on social today were just crazy. I mean, it was all positive. I mean, there was nothing that said, "What are you guys doing? This is dumb." It was just so positive, and so fun to read and watch that all play out today. So that's my big takeaway today. Like I said, I can't wait to see it. Like I said, a little concerned about the teams that are going to get there, but overall, I think it's just a win for basketball, win for TBT, and just keeps putting that stamp that TBT is, the best summer basketball. And, who knows, maybe not only the summer down the road, but not only locally, but in the world. I mean, people are tuning in to watch to see what's next. And, once again, didn't disappoint.
Yeah, I love the fact, TBT really is an event that is still organic. And I think it's a good time to say about John, about Dan, about Josh, about the whole leadership team, about Jake Pavoski, all those guys, all the leadership team at TBT. And we're very honest about this. We're big fans of the event. That's why I started this podcast. This is our third season. And we're critical of them. I mean, the reality is we're critical. We are independent. We have our own voice. We are critical of them when we feel it's warranted. But two things you and I have always said. One is, as an earlier guest said, as Juan said, it's their sandbox they create. So much respect for that. And they remain hungry to make a new narrative every year. I mean, this is an amazing idea. It's been done before. The Entertainers Classic, major street ball tournaments are having there. It is the playground mecca of basketball. But the idea of having an event of this scale with this stakes outside under these conditions is aggressively ambitious. I mean, this is a great showcase for the event. It's a great showcase for the culture of basketball. And I think it's really interesting, too. We're going from some of the more suburban, Big Ten, Midwestern cultures, also taking it back to a more urban, almost spiritual level of basketball, much more in class of what a summer tournament is. So I think having the very deal of having these great college stadiums, these great college towns, but we're just bringing it right back to its raw core of an urban sport. I think having that sort of character of a different event, taking basketball from the cornfields all the way to the inner city and really embracing all aspects of basketball culture is, to me, really exciting. And I'm extremely hype about this. So I could not be more excited today.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could add anything that you didn't mention there, but I mean, you framed that up nicely. We're both excited. The fans are excited, and TBT 2022 is just a couple months away, so we are right there. I may have to look into coming. I may have to.
Flights are cheap.
Scheduling.
I can pick you up at the airport. What we can do, by the way, just because this is a fun podcast and people here is talking, we're talking about going to Cincy. You could fly here. We could fly out Monday morning and go straight to Cincy.
We could. We will check out the schedule now. There's a twist in the thing. So we had a feeling it was going there, but it wasn't real yet. So, now that it's real, we got to definitely play out the schedules. But, yeah, go ahead and close us out, Hayner.
Okay. So, anyway, Rucker Park is going to be very exciting. This has been ZoomTheTBT with Charge and Hayner signing off.
Hope you enjoyed listening to ZoomTheTBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.